When you are unsure of what you are doing is correct, or if you believe that what you are doing is correct, but you are actually mistaking and no one tells you, can you really be blamed? And if you see someone heading in the wrong direction, are you obligated to tell them the truth? Because to even move in the right direction, you must first know what even the right direction is. And if no one dares to tell you and you are not open to listening, how will you ever make a change and head in the right direction? Welcome everyone, my name is Tobias Philipp, and in this episode I want to discuss my viewpoint on being honest and direct instead of sugarcoating and feeling pity. If throughout your upbringing your parents didn't correct you, how would you know what even is right and what is wrong? Because sometimes you just need to hear how the world really works. Otherwise you cannot even function properly because you will have a lack of knowledge. And when we go to school or when we do a study, we do that to learn how to do something, to get some new knowledge. And if you don't practice, you don't make mistakes, and you don't receive any corrections or feedback, you will never know that what you did is wrong or how you should do it differently. And this, in my opinion, applies to everything that happens in life. Because we all go through our lives thinking that what we are doing is correct. But again, without any feedback, we can never improve or we can never head in another direction. And if no one tells me directly that I should do it in a different way or that I should do something differently, I will just continue to do the same thing and my worldview will never change, or I will never be able to make a change for me which is positive. And this is especially important for children because in my view, the whole point of a childhood is to prepare someone for what is happening in the real world. Because when I was a child, I didn't know anything. When I was just born, I had zero knowledge of anything. Everything that I needed to know had to be taught to me. And also, how could I even know better than my own parents? I was just coming on this world without any knowledge. So everything needed to be learned to me. And if my parents had always shielded me and sugarcoated everything, I would have never been able to prepare myself for what was waiting for me in the real world. And this is true for everyone. If you are always protected from reality, you will have to face a very big challenge once you step into the real world. And I truly believe that only by being direct and confronting harsh realities, we can even learn something. And I think if that is not happening, then I do believe that something which is crucial, something which is essential for everyone to learn is being held back. And I even think that, in my opinion, that's not something which is fair to someone. And it is even harder to tell someone the truth than to hear the truth from someone else. But I think that there are always two sides to it. So think about it for yourself. Would you rather hear someone tell you the truth, or would you rather be told a lie? And even though some people might think that sometimes they don't want to hear the truth, in the end, I believe that everyone at some point wants to know what the real truth is. But also in a world where there are so many lies, it can be very difficult to distinguish what even is true. So I believe and I think that we all, myself included, can make a difference by at least being truthful, which should have been the case. And I understand that sometimes you won't get a nice reaction or you won't get a kind reaction, but by lying to someone, you will always know that you've lied. And you cannot lie to yourself, so you will have to live with that, and you will always know in the back of your head that you told someone a lie. And the point I'm trying to make here is that it's scary to be honest and be direct, but if you feel this fear, just remember for yourself that in the end, it will always pay off to just say how something is, just be real and to tell someone the truth. Even if in that moment it doesn't seem so or it doesn't seem like it, I can guarantee you that in the end, you will never regret that you've told someone the truth. And also there's a big difference between being honest and being hurtful. And yes, in many cases, telling or hearing the truth can hurt or can be hurtful or can seem hurtful, but if it's constructive criticism, it isn't that bad or it cannot be bad. And this may seem controversial, but in some situations, the only thing that can help someone is to tell them something they really don't want to hear, or tell them something they really don't want to face. And then at that point, empathy can seem like something which is turned around, because empathy often seems like it means that you have to feel pity for someone, but sometimes empathy just means that you have to recognize that someone just doesn't get it, or that someone just doesn't see it. And sometimes only when someone really feels it deep inside of them, it really stings them, that is the point when it will click for them. And to come back to what I've said earlier, you cannot do what you cannot think. So even if it may seem hurtful at first to someone, in the end it really doesn't have to be hurtful, and they can just be helped with that. They're really more helped with that than that it even hurt them. But that is something which we must see over a longer period of time, looking back at it, and in that moment I truly understand that it can be very, very difficult. But to be able to be direct with someone and tell them the truth, you really have to have some emotional control. You cannot just go out and yell at someone, and you have to really be careful with the words you use, and always speak in a polite and calm way, because that is, in my opinion at least, the only way that someone will be even open to listen to you. And I think, or I believe, that that is maybe even the most difficult thing to do for many, many people in the world today. And that's also why, in my opinion, so many people just don't do it, or they try to do it, but then it turns out completely wrong. So I think the only thing to do is just to be calm, be polite, and genuinely want to help someone. And if you can do that, then that's really all there is to it. There isn't really much else you can do. And one really important thing that we must not forget is that besides being able to directly tell someone else the truth, we must also be able to receive it from someone else, because it may sometimes seem very easy to spot what someone else is doing incorrectly. It can be very hard to accept that we ourselves doing something correct or incorrect, or that we ourselves doing something wrong. But again, if we only do what we think is right, and if we are not open to listen to someone else, there is a possibility that we will keep doing it incorrectly. And if we keep doing it incorrectly and not listen to someone else, we maybe never change it for the better. We will keep doing it for the rest of our lives incorrect. So also, for example, let's say I wanted to learn how to play football, and Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi is going to teach me how to play football, is going to learn me how I should do it, how I can improve. I must not think that I know better, because if I think that I know better and I'm not listening to someone else, I will make sure for myself that I will never improve. I have to listen to someone who has proven they know way more than I do, and they are way better than I am. That's the point. I have to keep quiet again. I have to keep quiet and listen to them, and not think that I know better. Because if I don't do that, I will know for sure that I will always stay where I am, and I will never improve myself. And again, this certainly applies to me too. I am not better. I'm also always trying to learn, and I also have to improve myself and be able to listen better to other people. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know. To summarize, it may seem that it's sometimes better to shield someone from the truth because it may hurt them, or they are not open for listening to it. But in the end, if someone never hears how something works or what they should do differently, the opportunity for them to improve themselves is taken away. And I think that is even more unfair, and that is even harder for them. So just try to tell the truth, always be polite and be kind, and choose your words wisely. And if you can do that, and you can do that with the genuine intent of helping someone, I believe you can never go wrong. So that is my perspective, and those are my experiences. Let me know in the comments what yours are. Share this episode with someone you think may benefit from it, and thank you again for listening.